Gliders. All right, sugar gliders, we are coming to the end of chapter 5. We are on lesson 6, the coordinate plane. I think this is a review for many of you, but pay attention so you know what details to look for. All right, identify points in ordered pairs. A coordinate plane is formed when the x-axis and the y-axis intersect at their 0 points. Let's see what that means. If we look at this graph down here, right here is the x-axis, okay? And we can see if this were a number line going this way in the positive direction, it starts at 0. Okay, and then the y-axis is right up here. You can see the y, and it intersects if this were the 0 point and it went up that way, right there at 0. That's what that means. Okay, the axes separate the coordinate plane into 4 regions called quad. Quad means 4 quadrants. Okay, so if we look at this graph here, we can see quadrant 1 is here, and it on the x coordinate, this is the x going that way, we have all our positive numbers. On the y coordinates, this is our y, here's our y up there, those are positive as well. So positive, positive. The 2 would be where the x is on the x coordinate, and then the 5 would go up 5 right there. So that would be the y coordinate. Okay, quadrant 1, quadrant 2. We can see it's going to comprise the negative numbers because the x coordinates that way, but also the positive y coordinates because it goes up. Okay, so we have a negative and a positive, and this symbolizes those coordinates. All right, quadrant 3. Quadrant 3, the x-axis goes in the negative direction because that would include numbers to the left of 0. And then they would also include numbers below 0 on the y-axis. So that's why we call those negative, negative numbers, coordinates. And then quadrant 4, we have positive because on the x-axis they fall this way. On the y-axis they're below 0. So it's positive, negative. All right, let's see, number 1. Identify the ordered pair that names point C. Then identify the quadrant in which it's located. So first we have to find the ordered pair and then the quadrant. So if we look at C here, if we go over on the x-axis, we're going over 1/2, 1, 1.5. And then when I go up, I'm going to go up, this is probably 1/4, 1/2, 1. So I started at the origin 0. I moved to the right on the x-axis, and the coordinate for point C, I got to move this, was 1.5. And then I moved up the y-axis, and that coordinate was 1. So point C is located at the x-axis was 1.5, the y-axis is 1. Point C is in quadrant. Remember, this was 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I like to remember it because it forms the letter C for coordinate grid. So that would be in quadrant 1, and it's a Roman numeral 1. All right, the next section, identify the point located at negative 1.5, negative 1, then identify the quadrant in which it's located. So again, we start at the origin, which is 0. This time, though, because our x coordinate is negative 1.5, I'm going to go to the left. So negative 1.5 is right here. So I'm going to move negative 1.5 on the x-axis, or I should say I'm going to move left on the x-axis. So the x-coordinate is negative 1.5. The next one, move down the y-axis again because it is negative, and the y-coordinate is, what did I have to do? Negative 1 right here. Okay, the y-coordinate is negative 1. So point B is located at negative 1, negative 1.5, negative 1. Both coordinates are negative, so point B is in quadrant 1, 2, this was quadrant 3. Okay, let's see what we have on the next page. Go ahead and follow these directions, see if you understand it, and then we'll talk about it in class. Have a great night.